well with clean hands, you can begin. So I just washed my hands and now I'm gonna preheat the oven. I have a fancy oven so I can convect bake, which is, I don't know, cut it.
No. So
okay, so we're gonna
preheat.
convect bake at 400 for the first 15 minutes. Crap, okay, yeah.
Why do we do that?
To kickstart the chicken, right?
Sure.
Okay, and you have to have your tray thing, the rack on the bottom of the oven, one up from the bottom. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut open this chicken. I'm gonna get my vegetables and everything away so that they don't get contaminated.
Okay, we don't want cross-contamination.
Right, because the chicken has blood. This is a whole chicken that came, it was frozen fresh by, what's it called? Chambers Foods, which is a company where we have a subscription where we get a whole freezer full of meat every few months. And that way you don't have to buy meat at the grocery store, which can be hard when, for anybody trying to budget or someone with a disability, because you have to do math and it's just a whole thing. Can you open that Dutch oven for me, please?
Sure. So what is it you hate about math when you go to the grocery store?
The math part.
No, but does it stress you out?
It stresses me out, even with a calculator. So I'm just washing my hands. After this, I'm going to have to thoroughly wash and disinfect the fridge. I mean, the sink. Yeah, math sucks. But washing your hands is good. Especially during COVID and any other time if you don't like germs or chicken blood. So now I'm going to season the chicken.
Should you not check to see if the chicken has something inside? Just saying.
They don't come with, oh, so this chicken does not have giblets. Giblets are the guts and blood and gore that comes in the inside of a chicken sometimes.
Gore?
We've ordered these chickens before, so I know there's nothing inside.
Okay.
We're not making any kind of stuffing today because stuffing is gross and nobody likes that.
Well, I love stuffing.
Well, I don't.
You like garlic?
Yes, that's why I'm putting a lot.
Okay.
So first I did garlic. I'm almost out of sweet basil. We just bought fresh plants today, but
Where's that sweet basil from?
this sweet basil is Pampered Chef.
Yeah, I know it's
I like it so much, that's why it's empty. This is Costco. Nobody knows where this came from, probably Clubhouse. So you want to zoom in on my chicken there?
Sure.
So this gets all stuck to everything.
The Dutch oven is well loved, it looks like.
Yes, I love the Dutch oven.
Or well used, I should say.
Is that good? More?
Yeah. No, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look how gross that is. Yeah. But it's better to season with your fingers than with just like I'm not going to tip the jar over and spill 5 pounds of salt like Trisha Paytas. Hashtag I'm a friend. I mean a fan. So we're going to put salt and pepper too, which I'm nervous about, but it was suggested by my mother.
Just a little bit of salt, right? We don't want to put too much. Well, maybe a little more than that. Maybe, 2 pinches. There we go. That's good. Yeah. Because we already have this, which will have salt in it too, right?
So now we're putting pepper because my mom puts that on everything. Mm-hmm. I could live without pepper, but it does taste nice on chicken. So that's good enough for me. Now before you put it in the oven, you want to add chicken broth, because when you cook meat in the oven or chicken anytime, it can dry out. And a good way, which I prefer better than water or anything, is chicken broth. This is Compliments chicken broth. So I'm just gonna pour it in here a little bit around the sides.
Yeah, because there will be some liquid come from that.
Yeah, these chickens are pretty juicy. I think that's good.
Okay.
Is that good? Yeah, that's good.
Maybe
more?
a tiny bit more. Just so you can see it around. Yeah, that should be good.
I like chicken broth.
Right. Now, another way to keep it moist is
if you should cook with the lid on until you're ready to crisp up the skin at the end.
right. So keeping the lid on keeps it moist, right?
Right, and the oven isn't fully preheated yet, but I'm going to pop it in anyway.
You forgot one little thing.
What did I forget? The onions?
Yeah, we got to put the onions
I thought
in.
the onions came in later.
So
Well, I've been corrected, so... I don't know how to chop a tiny onion. I assume it's the same as a big onion. You know, just chop off the nips and put it in. I don't know how many we need. Why don't we do like half the box?
Okay. Whatever you think.
I like onions. So, with a large knife and a cutting board, just chop the tips off. If you're not comfortable using a big knife or any knife, or if you have someone around, you can ask them to help you. So I'm just going to put them in like this, all around the sides.
Here, let me open the compost bin for you.
Oh, and always have compost bin close by. I'm pretty decent with a knife. Took me a while to be comfortable with a knife in the kitchen. I still kind of cringe when other people use knives, especially when my mom, this is going to sound weird, but the other day she was cutting cheese in the dark.
What?
You had the lights off last week and you were cutting cheese for a sandwich in the dark. And I was telling you to be careful. You have to have good lighting. And
Yes.
yeah. There's a certain way you're supposed to hold your fingers. They're supposed to be like this on like a bigger vegetable. But I can't for some reason do that. Oh, we have a bad onion. That one will be sacrificed.
So, why don't you tell me why you love cooking so much?
I love cooking so much because my Aunt Danny, who passed away, she was a chef, I believe, and she made wonderful food all the time, all homemade. The last thing she taught me how to cook was homemade gnocchi, potato pasta.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just thought I want to feed people and make people happy with food the way she did. And I want to honor her by exploring cooking. I don't want to work in a restaurant or anything. I just want to
Why is that?
feed my family and friends with really good food. The reason I don't want to work in a restaurant is because I would probably go bonkers with all the noise. Sometimes I find it hard to even eat in a restaurant because I get overstimulated. Yeah. So cutting up my last onion here, and then we're going to pop this in the oven. So it's going to be in the oven for 15 minutes at 400. It's halfway there right now. So I really want to get the Laura Prep-On cutting board with the bag and the knife where you just, and it goes in a compost bag. I don't know if you guys have seen that. What was I talking about?
We were talking about the temperature.
Oh, so you have to do it for 400 for 10 to 15 minutes. But because it's not fully preheated to 400 yet, I'm just going to pop it in And then when it hits 400, I'll leave it in for 10 minutes. And then after that, I'm going to turn it down to 350.
Yeah, and then we have to cook it for a few hours, right?
Yeah, we have to cook it.
What did the internet say?
The internet said an hour and 20 minutes, but I don't follow recipes.
Yeah, and what's wrong with following recipes?
Instructions.
Yeah, well, Alex likes to, when she follows recipes, she follows them perfectly.
Yeah, like craft dinner, I follow it to a T, even though when you follow the instructions, it overcooks the noodles. So I have a meat thermometer, and to thermometize your chicken, it when it's fully cooked, it'll be at 190 Fahrenheit or 87 Celsius, which is like the poultry, because chicken is poultry.
And later we'll show where to put the thermometer, right?
Yeah, you gotta stick it in the breast. So I'm just gonna pop this in the oven now. And
okay, and then we'll be back. Okay,
we'll be
so
right back.
Now what do you think you gotta do? You got the comment in
idea.
there. No idea. Grab the scrubby thingy that we just had in your hand, and then you're gonna scrub the
Norwex, baby. Okay, I'm scrubbing the sink with Comet after I washed the dishes with hot water and dish soap. So I'm just washing. Don't know what I'm doing.
just get all the corners and go up the sides too. There you go.
Oh, it smells like a pool. Okay, now what?
You gotta rinse it. Sorry. Do you need a third hand?
Yeah.
Oh, there's Bob, always in the way.
There's like a carrot leaf.
Well, that's what that basket's for. It picks up all the stuff. Do you know your
I
favorite
don't know why,
thing?
but this smells so good.
Your favorite thing to do is to clean out the drain, right?
I hate it. It's almost as bad as ketchup in the dishwasher.
So Alex told me one time that she hates cleaning out the sink drain so much that she's going to pay somebody $5 a day to do it for her. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
Well, we got to put it in the laundry, so...
So now that my glasses, my glasses are thoroughly fogged from the hot sink, off camera, I used this thing from Norwex to scrub the vegetables and get all the dirt off. One side is rough and one side is kind of smooth. It gets in all the grooves. Yeah, highly recommend, 10 out of 10. So if you want to do your carrots fancy, cut them on an angle. Can you see that? I like to cut the little tip off too. So cut them like this. Kind of, I want to do maybe like, yeah, like that. Is that good? Yeah. So carrots, put them in a bowl. We're gonna add them in near the end of cooking the chicken. Be careful of your fingers. And if your mat is sliding, which I should probably do, but I'm not going to, put a towel underneath of it and it'll stay still. Actually, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, the Pamper Chef ones do have a little grip, but sometimes it's not quite enough. And what does that do?
Stabilizes the cutting board. Might do it, yeah, good enough. So I'm just gonna throw all of these in a bowl and then we're gonna get to cutting the potatoes. And a piece for Bob. Here, Bob.
He likes carrots.
While you enjoy the crunching noise in the background, I'm gonna cut some potatoes. So these are fingerling potatoes. I feel like they look fancy because they're like chubby little fingers. Probably why they're called fingerling, don't quote me on it. So you're gonna take it and cut whatever, is it lengthwise? Lengthwise, like this. Put them in a bowl. Do a couple and then I'll do the rest off camera. See? Ta-da! So then they can get roasted and crispy in the oven. So I will be right back when I'm done. So while I was chopping the potatoes, the oven has now preheated finally to 400 degrees. So I'm gonna start a timer for 15 minutes now. And then I'm gonna turn it down to 350. Hey Google, set a timer for 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes. And that's starting now.
Is it going?
It is
Okay.
going.
So my Google timer for 15 minutes just went off. So I'm gonna change the temperature down to 350, set a new timer for an hour, come back and check the chicken. You don't have to film this. Oh, there we go. It's been a little over an hour since the chicken went in the oven. I'm going to pull it out. My mom usually just pulls the rack out, but that gives me anxiety, so I'm going to pull it out and baste it with this turkey baster, which is now a chicken baster, and then I'm going to add, that's going to happen in a second. Okay. I can't see, my glasses are fogged up. Ooh, that's not a good oven mitt. Ooh, she's thick.
She spread out a little.
So you wanna slowly suck up the juices. And as soon as you pull it out, it's gonna start pouring. So you gotta make sure you don't lift it up too high.
And how do you know that?
Because I splashed myself before and my mom told me different.
Right. Guess we learn from experience, eh?
Is that good? Just two little bastes?
I think that's good. Oh, look at the
Okay.
little onions. They look yummy.
Now that's gonna chill for just a second. Come over here.
Oh, sorry.
Now I'm gonna put some oil on these. This is the potatoes and carrots. You want a little?
Is that Rachel Ray's little oil thing?
I have no idea, is it?
Yeah.
Hashtag Rachel Ray, sponsor me. Whoops, lost a soldier. So you wanna get all the potatoes, get oil everywhere, start a house fire. Okay, so they're all oily and now I'm all oily. So I'm gonna put these in with the chicken. This might be too much for the pot.
We love leftovers in this house.
I love chicken leftovers.
Okay, so you're gonna put those in the pot and then...
And then I'm gonna pop it back in the oven with the lid on for half an hour.
Okay.
Scalpel.
I've been watching too much Grey's Anatomy.
So the chicken and the potatoes and carrots have been baking for half an hour in the oven with the lid on. The potatoes and carrots are soft. You can poke them with a fork. And I'm gonna check the temperature. Goes in between the thigh and the breast. So the temperature is good. It's above good actually. So I changed the oven to 400 and it's broiling to crisp everything up. There's a piece of the mitt in my food. And I'm gonna pop this back in and then feed my dog. See you when it's ready. Chow time. And my dog gets Brita water because why not? Okay, eat.
Okay, Bob, eat.
So I had to take the vegetables out of the dish to properly crisp up the chicken because they were not browning. The chicken wasn't browning on the sides. And then I realized that I put the chicken the wrong way and it's upside down, as you can see. So now what I'm going to do is remove the chicken because it's tired and it needs to rest. And then I'm gonna take the juices and put them in this pot, and I'll tell you why. Now, how do I get the chicken out? Tongs? What do I use? Stop. I chose my weapons. Okay. My upside down chicken. This is heavy. There we go. Random potato. Now, when you make gravy, buy instant because nobody has time for that. I like to put the powder in a mixing thingy, a measuring cup. I put the water in first, and then I add the powder and mix it up with a whisk. Before I put it in the pot so it's less gritty on the bottom. Okay, so I'm taking the juices and adding them to a pot.
Why'd you do that?
Because it makes your gravy taste better.
So it's like half homemade, half...
Clubhouse is the way to go, but you should add... So this is just the juices from the chicken and the chicken broth we added in the beginning. It's really chunky.
How much do you add?
I don't know, that much.
Just a little bit for flavor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, maybe I'll add more. It's just hard because it's got all this stuff in it. See what I mean? Now I'm gonna re-add the vegetables I took out right back in to the pot. And hopefully they will crisp up in the oven. Do you need a shot of that?
So they're already cooked, they just sneeze.
They're already cooked.
And how are you crisping them?
I'm crisping them by putting them in the oven. No, what is your question?
On broil, right?
Sure. Broil it is. Ta-da! Now I can take this pot thingy and I'm gonna use some water. Brita water so my mom doesn't complain. Take my 2 packages of turkey gravy from Clubhouse.
And they do have that in gluten-free too, right?
They have gluten-free. You can use chicken gravy if you want. I just personally don't like chicken gravy. You can use whatever gravy you want. That's 1 package. Make sure to make a really big mess. mix it a little bit before I put it in here. I'm putting that in a very small pot, and I'm gonna put it on high. I have my whisk, which is always really hard to find, and you just whisk it all together, get all the lumps and clumps out, and it's gonna taste really good because it has the juices and the broth. So I'm pretty sure I don't have to whisk that anymore right now, do I? Oh, yeah. It should come to a boil, and then once it thickens up, it's ready to serve. The chicken is carved, the potatoes and carrots are roasted, and I made the gravy, and now it's ready to eat. I hope you enjoyed watching Cooking on the Spectrum, and please like and subscribe. Thank you. I'm parched.